Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for July 8th. I'm your host, Aaron Armstrong, and with me today is Dustin. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing great, Taryn. How you doing?
Good. You know, a long time no see, man. Yeah,
I know.
You were absent for BB Can and Celebrity and all that.
Well, we were talking, I think the last time I did one of these was BB19, and I actually suffered an injury at work. It was terrible, and we just had to stop doing it. And I don't really usually watch BB Can, but I did watch Celebrity, and it's nice to know that because of Big Brother Celebrity, you have Mark McGrath doing the wonderful stylings for your theme song. So yes. I'm so glad to have that.
Very true. And we also, because of Big Brother Celebrity, know that Arienta is Tyler's Big Brother crush.
Oh, get it.
All right. Well, we are here to talk about everything that happened on the live feeds yesterday, and we had a veto competition. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the plans. But really, there wasn't much that happened before the veto competition. The players that were picked were Rachel, Fessy, and Tyler. Kaitlyn chose Fessy, Winston chose Tyler, and those three joined Kaitlyn, Scotty, and Winston in the veto competition.
Yeah, and you know, it was really the most interesting thing out of the picks there was that Kaitlyn chose Fessy just to keep up appearances. Mm-hmm. She had to do it. You know, she's working with everybody else, but in terms of keeping up this whole image of her being a part of Faysal, she had to go ahead and pick the previous veto winner, who she knew would, it would just make things look good. So he was really the only person in that whole group that would either use it on somebody different or would not use it at all. So he was really the only, person that was kind of in the mix there that was different from everybody else. But she had to do it for appearances.
Yes. And then shortly afterwards, she's talking to Tyler and she's like, yeah, I don't really want him to win, though, because I don't want to trick him into using the veto only to then backdoor his friend. I don't want to do that to him, which is, not the best strategy then to pick him to play in the veto.
Well, she's already in a whole world of trouble, and so if you throw that in there where, the plan is if the veto gets used, then Swaggy will be the backdoor option. That would just look really bad. And I think it would hurt some real feelings if Fessy used it thinking that they would go for somebody on the other side of the house to just be, boom, here comes your best friend right on the block. And you didn't even see it coming. You thought you could trust me, but no.
Yeah, I mean, really, the move itself is gonna it's a betrayal to all of her friends, but Kaitlyn really feels the need to get the details right. So she's not really betraying all of her friends all of the time. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's what Tyler has to put up with in order to make this insanity happen.
Yeah, I don't know how he keeps up with any of his lies and his stories. I don't know how she is going to get out of this HOH unscathed. It's all really, really crazy. This has been the craziest first 3 weeks that I really think that all of this is going to come falling down on them, both of them, after all of this, because you just can't keep up with all this stuff.
Yeah. So Tyler's saying, okay, well, if you don't want to do this to Fessy, then why not just try to convince him to not win the competition? Be like, hey, you don't want to put a big target on your back. You don't want to win another veto. So why don't you just not do it? And so she's gonna try to do that.
Yeah, and for Fessy, that kind of goes against his whole MO, which is I am big, I am strong, I want to prove that I'm worthy of this game. So he has to get it in his brain that, maybe not winning back-to-back vetoes would be a good thing in the long run. In the short term, that looks really good for him because he can coming out of the crap app, he wants to prove himself in some way, so he has to have something that makes him look good, not only to the other house guests, but to the audience. But I think that's, as best as you can get. If you're Kaitlyn or if you're Tyler and you're trying to convince Fessy, the best thing you can do is like, hey, pump the brakes a little bit to get your way toward Fessy, saying just let it go. Unless Winston is about to win, because we want Winston out, air quotes, then don't let him win. But otherwise, just play it cool.
Yes, yeah. So, Kaitlyn's going to try this argument on Fessy. And Fessy's essentially saying, like, no, I want to win. I want to win everything. If I win, the guy that wins 2 vetoes, you're going to be scared to go after me. And Kaitlyn's going to be like, well, no, they're just going to backdoor you. And he's like, backdoor? That's like so hard to do. That never happens in Big Brother.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, just wait, Fessy.
We're only, like 1 or 2 days away from the veto ceremony. He's the wool will be raised upon his eyes, and he will see what is happening if this plan goes through.
Yes, and so it's funny because not only is Kaitlyn trying to argue this point to Fessy, but Haleigh, with actual legitimate concern for Fessy's game, will unknowingly make the exact same argument to Fessy, saying, "Look, dude, we don't want you to win the veto because we don't want a huge target on your back, or at least I don't want a huge target on your back. I need you in this game, Fessy." And Fessy says the exact same lines to her, like, "No, I need to win so that people are scared to put me up." And then Haleigh says the same thing. They'll just backdoor you. And then it's the same exact conversation. And he's so obtuse, he just doesn't get it. And Haleigh's like, fine, if you're gonna win though, at least socialize with other people. And he's like, I don't like that though. That's not me. I just want to be able to hang with my people and win as many competitions as I can. And Haleigh's just like, that's the game, you dummy. Come on, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't care. Fessy is just obtusely terrible at this game.
Yeah. If you're winning back-to-back vetoes and you're only hanging out with the people that you consider your alliance and the people that you like, that is a great way to be voted out just before the jury. And you know what? That might be satisfactory for him, but he's not going to go far in this game if he keeps up that line of thought. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
that's a great strategy in game. Win as much stuff as you can. In the last couple challenges, you want to make it to the end. But right now, just lay low, man. You're already gigantic. You don't need to make your target bigger.
Yep. So the veto competition is going to happen. The feeds come back, and Tyler has won the veto. He did not mean to win it. He tells Kaitlyn he didn't mean to win. He didn't think he was going to win it. He guessed on 3 of the questions, but it was individually timed. It turned out that he got those guesses right, and he won. That's what he told Kaitlyn. Maybe he was trying to win it. Maybe he was trying to throw it. Who knows? We'll probably see in the episode. But Tyler does have the veto. Jess and Cody hosted the competition, and it was about past house guests, so we know a decent amount about this. But the headline here: Tyler won the veto. That's his 2nd competition win, and it's definitely started to put him people are already starting to on the Faute side starting to talk about, we don't know if we can trust Tyler. Now they're a little bit scared of Tyler too, and that's not great for him with the other side.
Yeah, Bayleigh already has a lot of beef with Tyler between the first instance where he went after her in the HOH competition, and then went after her in terms of naming her as the renom. Now her and Rockstar are talking about, if either of them or somebody from Faute wins the next HOH, they'll either nominate or convince them to nominate Tyler as the main target moving forward. So, and I'm sure a lot of us that watch the feeds and a lot of us that are diehard viewers really, really like Tyler. This is not a good scenario for him. And we'll see if all this playing that he has done really hard, really early comes back to bite him, in the next couple weeks. I hope not, but it's not looking good from that side of the house. The other side of the house, that's a different story.
Yeah, they love him. So his plan is to use the veto on Scotty, and so that will hopefully garner some kind of a gratitude from Scotty, and then Swaggy will go up on the block, Swaggy will go home, and everything will be great. And so that's what he tells Rachel at first, and then he goes in and tells Kaitlyn as well. However, Kaitlyn is saying, "Okay, I like that, but I'm having some doubts," and you can see Tyler like, "Okay, all right. What are the doubts? What are we doing here? How much time do I have to spend talking you back into doing this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I should do this. I don't want to betray my friends." Like, she's basically starting to back out, and Tyler has to be like, "No. Swaggy was mean to you, remember. Don't believe what they're saying. Of course they're going to be being nice to you. You can't back out now. All of this stuff." He does get her back on track, but this was a scary moment for him.
Yeah, and, as HOH, she has to realize that everybody coming to her, especially the people that she just betrayed in the last eviction, everything they say comes with a grain of salt. So, of course, she does not want to hurt anybody's feelings. Of course, she has this previous alliance with Swaggy and the rest of the Falte people. And, of course, that's going to be dramatic and hurt a lot of people's feelings. But she, even though she hasn't fully admitted it to the House that she was the swing vote that got Steve out, they cannot accept the fact that if she is in power, that they have to suck up to her, and she doesn't. I don't even know how to explain it. She has to play both sides. What am I trying to say here, Taryn? It's very difficult. She has to be on a very thin tightrope with these guys.
Yeah, she's just feeling like this is not Kaitlyn's role that she's supposed to play in the game. Tyler has forced her.
No, this is supposed to be Tyler.
Exactly. Tyler has put her in a position where she is playing against her own type, and it's very uncomfortable for her, despite the fact that she keeps saying the universe is telling me to do this. It's my intuition. So, it's very uncomfortable. So she even said this multiple times last night. She needs constant reminders and like essentially validation from Tyler that like she's doing the right thing, because it's just like so out of left field that she would even do this, which is why all of these Faute people are so, they have no idea it's coming. They have no idea this is coming, despite the fact that they absolutely should. And we'll talk about how much they're starting to suspect people like Tyler and Kaitlyn. They have no idea that the Swaggy backdoor is about to hit them like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
So Tyler he's finally got Kaitlyn back on board. JC comes in and joins them in the HOH room, and JC is gonna do some work here. He is hilarious with his gameplay, just like the fast talking. And he comes in, he's like, okay, so what happened during the veto is that I overheard. They are so arrogant. They just talk all whatever. They don't even bother to try to hide it. And Swaggy, he was talking about during the veto that when Tyler was up, he was like, there's no way Tyler can win this, and he was rooting against Tyler, and oh my god, it was so ridiculous. And okay, now here's a plan. And they're like, okay, that's cool, like let's what are you? And he's just let me talk. So here's the plan. I think that you should do a plan, which is that you should use the veto on Scotty. And they just kind of smile like, oh, okay, yeah, like that maybe. Oh, you guys already planned. You guys already planned. I'm so sorry. I'm so slow, guys. My gameplay is slow. And they're like, no, dude, don't worry about it. Like, it's crazy and ridiculous. But you'd think, given how crazy and ridiculous JC is when he talks game, that he would be spouting nonsense. But something I realized over the course of the night last night was that he actually is amazingly consistent with what he's saying to what people. And I don't think anyone feels like super personally close to JC, because when he talks to them, it's you're just being barraged, and it's hard to like feel that personal connection when there's that language barrier, and it feels like it's hard to make that connection. But a lot of people don't distrust him. They don't find like they don't feel threatened by him because of that. And I think that JC is a bit savvier than most people in the house realize.
There's a beauty in the way that JC handles himself in the house. I mean, first of all, I mean, he is the Tasmanian devil going through every room, just spinning around, and the energy you described is completely accurate. But he has this way about him that he's not gonna, BS people. He says his mind to every single person. I have yet to see him really throw out like a hardcore lie, like straight to your face. I'm not doing this, or this is what's happening, and that's not the truth. He goes in and he gossips about a lot of stuff, and that, I think, brings people together. He's like, oh, these people, they are so fake. They talk like this. I always come from my heart. You can always trust me that I'm always going to say this. Excuse my JC impression. But he's got this, I don't know, this oomph that I could see taking him very far, because people really do trust the words that are coming out of his mouth. I don't know if they necessarily trust his loyalties, but they trust that the words that are coming out of his mouth are honest and real. And I think that can take him pretty far. Can it take him really, really far? I don't know. But I think we're going to see JC for a while, because I really, really like what he's doing.
Yes, Jack in the chat. JC's verbal assault is definitely a thing. So JC then will go to Scotty, and this is another funny thing that he does. It's like, now that he knows that the plan is to use the veto on Scotty, he goes to Scotty and he says, all right, Scotty, here's what you need to do. You need to go to Tyler and convince him to use the veto on you. Here's how you do it. You tell him, I'll be loyal, and I will owe you a favor. I will owe you a favor. And Scotty's like, okay, yeah, cool. And he's like, say those two things. Say the two things. Tyler uses the veto on you. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. He is coaching up Scotty to talk to Tyler as though Tyler isn't already going to use the veto. This is good stuff from JC.
It is. And Scotty, on the other hand, is looking at him like, yeah, I know I need to do that. Because he's such a fan of Big Brother that you have the veto winner. What else are you going to say to the veto winner? You need to be able to tell them, please use this on me. I will be loyal to you. Scotty is like that person who it's only been 2 weeks, and first he lost Steve, his closest ally. Now he's going to potentially lose Swaggy, one of his closest allies, after Steve left. Scotty is the most free agent person in the house, and the fact that they want to use that veto on him takes him to the third loyalty. And I can't wait to see what the fourth loyalty will be. Who uses a power on him? Or if he gets HOH, what would he do? Scotty is this person that is just right there in the middle, and it's hard to tell what is going to happen with him.
I think this week is going to be the make or break moment for Scotty, because typically this archetype, is in his position where they're losing allies, they're used as a pawn, so on and so forth. However, what's good about the archetype is that they know enough about the game to kind of recognize the best player in the house, and then they're able to attach themselves to the best player in the house and just kind of like tag along for a while. It's what Ian did. It's what Steve did. That is how you get far in this game as this archetype. And if Scotty recognizes that, hey, Tyler just used the veto on me, and clearly Tyler is playing the best game in the house, if he recognizes that and jumps ship and just attaches himself to Tyler, then I think Scotty's going to make it far in this game. If he, on the other hand, feels like you took out Steve, you took out Swaggy, you killed my father, then
prepare to die.
Yes, exactly. Then I feel like Scotty might find himself in trouble very soon, because even if he could, gather up some resistance, the fact that Sam has a power and we think that Tyler also has a power, I just feel like it is going to be much more in his own interests to be able to attach himself to Tyler. And that's obviously, I don't think, like what the fans would like to see him do. But But if I think that is by far his best move, and it's the one that has been historically successful for this archetype. So we'll have to see where it goes here with Scotty. But I do think that's his best move. And that said, with Tyler, I do think there's a small chance that Tyler doesn't have the power. And I think that if somebody else had it, I think it would be JC. I think that I initially thought JC, there's no way if he had the power, he'd be able to keep it quiet. But again, listening back last night, I do feel like he has the ability to keep things secret and to keep his stories straight. So I do think there's a small chance that JC has the power, but I think it's more likely that Tyler, just because Tyler, he even talked to the feeders. He was like, guys, I got the veto, but he didn't say anything about the power. So I'm just like, why? Like, why haven't you? Why?
Yeah, you would think that if he's gonna talk to the feeders to say, "Hey, I got the veto," he would throw out like, what damage does that do to just in a private room say, "By the way, I got this." Mm-hmm. I'm a little less. I mean, I know you already have a small percentage on the fact that JC could have it. I have an even smaller percentage on JC having it. I think the two main contenders are Tyler and Swaggy. But Swaggy has not shown anything that would, I feel like if somebody got a power, there would be this confidence boost. And I feel like you would see it like immediately. They wouldn't even have to say anything. They would just go around and you could see that their demeanor is a little bit more confident. And I haven't seen that from Swaggy. Tyler already has that. So it's hard to read him. He's already the most confident person in that house because he has, his hands in all these different pots and he's talking to everybody. So it's really hard to read him. I would give it about 80% Tyler, 15% Swaggy, 5% JC. But those are the only people.
I personally feel like at this point I'm 0% with Swaggy. I feel like he absolutely would have told Bayleigh about it. Okay. I think Swaggy is also more likely to tell the cameras because he's also camera talk. So I'm pretty confident Swaggy doesn't have it at this point. But I do feel like JC, there's a possibility. Okay. So, where were we? Tyler, nope. Kaitlyn and Fessy have a conversation where she tells him the plan. Hey, we're going to use the veto on Scotty. And then he's like, okay, that surprises me. Okay, that's great. Who are you going to put up? Probably Angela. Just, I like to throw out some notes every once in a while. If the HOH ever says probably, that means not gonna happen. That means that's not their plan because that's never, if probably is never a thing. There's no ever reason to say probably. If they say probably, that means they're lying and it's somebody, they're planning on doing somebody else and they don't want to tell you.
Right. If Fessy and Kaitlyn are 100% lock in a perfect world, she would say it's definitely going to be Angela. I'm definitely going to do this. But she's like, okay, yeah, probably Angela. Yeah, just like you said, that's not the real thing. This is gonna be so crazy, Taryn, because Fessy is all about the Kaitlyn life at the moment, and oh my God, this is gonna burn so many bridges. Yeah, he doesn't see this coming because she's lying straight to his face. Nobody on that side sees this coming, and you're right. She needs to, or he needs to realize that she's not telling the truth to him.
What makes this conversation even funnier is that he is surprised but pleased. He's like, "This is great. I like this."
Yeah, I like Scotty. Please take Scotty's on our side. Please take him off.
And he even goes as far as to say, "Look, and I know you've got a problem with Swaggy and Bayleigh, and let me tell you, when the time comes." When you make the shot at them, I will be on board. I will be on your side. And Kaitlyn is like, oh, really? She is like eating this up. She is like, oh, that's amazing. Yes, I love that you'll be on my side, Fessy. Like, Kaitlyn thinking, all right, so when I backdoor Swaggy tomorrow, Fessy will be on my side. And Fessy is thinking like, okay, whenever this happens weeks down the line,
post jury, once we're down to the final 6. Yeah.
Oh man, it's great. It's great. So Swaggy and Bayleigh are going to talk about Tyler, and this is going to be the start of a lot of talk about Tyler with this side. They are fully sort of, and this took them way too long, given how obvious this was, but they've finally come around to it a little bit that okay, maybe Tyler isn't that trustworthy, given the fact that they know he told Kaitlyn things that turned Kaitlyn against Swaggy, and she's starting to realize, oh, you know, he probably would have voted for with the other side during that eviction. Like, probably.
He was HOH. He didn't have a vote, but if forced to, he probably would have done that. At best, people have seen Tyler as a neutral person, somewhere in the middle. Obviously, the bros and I can't even remember the alliance names. The 6 people. They know that level 6. Thank you. I'm thinking Fatal 6 or something.
Fatal 5.
Fatal 5, right. They know that Tyler is firmly on their side, but at best, Falte thinks that he's just this neutral person that had the first HOH, put up the people that wouldn't rock any boats. We're going to, be as calm and cool and collective as possible. But like you said, they're just now realizing that, oh my God, he would have done that. Obviously, he needs to be your target. And they've already talked about this. He needs to be your target next week because he's clearly not on your side. And he's clearly talking to everybody about something different. And he's got all these lies that are swirling around that he can't keep, well, he can keep track of, but nobody else can keep track of.
Yeah. It's like, and here's the thing too. It's like they're finally starting to realize this, but they still aren't realizing the full picture. They're like, okay, because remember, they found out days ago that Tyler told Kaitlyn that Swaggy was talking shit about Kaitlyn, and like that immediately is like, okay, so Tyler's not with us, but it's taken them days to finally get together and be like, okay, so is Tyler's not with us, right? Like that's okay, that's upsetting. And they're finally coming around to that idea. They're finally realizing, okay, maybe Tyler would have voted with the other side. They're absolutely not realizing that Tyler is with the other side and has been for a while.
Yeah.
He was a double agent. They do not know that yet. They are talking about like, okay, well, we'll get Kaycee to target Tyler. Like they are completely still in the dark about so much. And Bayleigh is like, thinking about it, if Tyler was able to flip Kaitlyn and Kaitlyn is HOH, then, Kaitlyn could take a shot at some point. Swaggy, you should probably be careful, like, in the future. You should probably, like, make sure that you just be aware of the fact that you're going to be a big target soon, Swaggy. Again, no idea that it's coming this week, though. They are still talking about, like, how do we convince Tyler to use the veto? We really want the veto to be used, not realizing that will spell the end of Swaggy's game.
Yeah, they want to get Scotty off the block, and they want Angela up, and they want a definite Winston Angela combo, one of those going home, and they do not see this coming at all. It is going. Taryn, I wish I was on the Tuesday, because I think they're doing it Monday. I wish I was on the Tuesday podcast, because that is going to be your craziest day ever, man.
Yes. Brent in the chat is saying they have a subscription to Behind the Times. Yeah, they do. But here's the thing. They have a subscription to like half of the info from 3 weeks ago. Like they are still far behind here. And when Kaitlyn nominates Swaggy, they might be able to like finally realize, okay, we figured it out. now we know what's happening. Or that could send them off in an entirely different direction, because now all of a sudden maybe it was Kaitlyn that was playing them the whole time and Tyler has nothing to do with it. Like, there are so many things that, like, so many outcomes that can happen. I mean, there's less information in this update just because a lot of it is going to be irrelevant as soon as the backdoor happens, because so much is going to change. So it's hard to predict what direction this is going to go in.
Yeah, the last 24 hours have been a lot of positioning and talking about what a lot of people are talking about, the facade of what they think the alliances are doing versus what is really going on. So everybody's just reconfirming with everybody, oh yeah, level 6 is totally this and Falte is totally this. The minute, like you said, the minute that the veto ceremony happens, all of this washed away. We're going to have a whole new world. And I think that at that point, it'll be very interesting to see what Tyler and Kaitlyn's stories are and how they recover from this, hopefully, because I'm a big fan of both of them, what their stories are moving forward and how they came to this decision.
Yes. So meanwhile, we have our daily Winston is freaking out segment, where we get lots of like, oh my god, like they're gonna do this to me, and if I'm on the block Thursday night, I'm gonna have two speeches planned, and if I get any hint that I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna out everything. There's gonna be no alliance. I'm gonna say everything. Is that the veto ceremony? Do they do that? Wait, no. Brett's like, no. It's both. You get to do a speech of both. Okay, good. Well, Thursday night, before the vote, if I feel like I'm gonna get voted out, I'm saying everything. That's how I do not feel. Do not leave me up on that block. And I mean, people are just gonna be like, dude. We're going to use it on Scotty. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
If he does all that, it's like, okay, bye, Winston. What you really need to do is just stay cool, because he has these private conversations with Kaitlyn. He'll check back in with Kaitlyn and be like, dude, I'm playing this so well. I got everybody fooled. They think that I'm the big target, but I'm actually the pawn. We're pulling this off, Kaitlyn. We're pulling this off. And then so he's very confident with her, and then he goes back to his real friends, Rachel, Brett, Angela, and he's like, holy crap, what am I going to do? Holy crap. And dude, get your stuff together. You're not going home unless you actually freak out like you're talking about. That's what would send you home, is putting such a big target on you because of these freakouts. You have the numbers to get Swaggy out. You know the deal. You know that this back door can work if everything just goes to plan. Stop freaking out, dude.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I find myself conflicted this week because I am extremely pleased with the direction this week is going. I think that the backdoor Swaggy is going to cause a ton of drama. It's a great strategic move. I love everything about it, but I am sad that we're going to lose Swaggy so early because he's such a big character, and I feel like he had more to offer, even though this is going to be like a great way to go out. But I still I feel like this is going to happen, and I'm sad about it, but it's going to happen. So what I'm really rooting for is the back door happens, Swaggy's on his way out the door, and then Winston feels uncomfortable. He outs everything, and then they vote Winston out because he outs everything, and then it's just utter chaos.
Percentage of that happening in the moment live on TV? Yeah.
Because even if he outs them, they're still going to vote Swaggy out. They're
going to be like, wow, that's a lot of new information. Stick to the plan, right? Okay, guys? Yeah, stick to the plan. What I'm more curious about is, does Sam's advantage, her power, whether she uses it on herself or somebody, or whether it defaults on week 4, is that gonna, because we have 99 days, is that gonna cancel out any kind of pre-jury buyback?
I mean, I hope so. I would imagine so. Yeah. So yeah.
Because I don't. If Swaggy goes, so basically we're saying if Swaggy goes home, and Sam does not use her power on Swaggy, he's done. He's out.
Yeah, I mean Steve is out. Steve is out of the out of sequester. So I imagine Swaggy would also be, which you know, I was sad to see Steve go too. Like I like so many. Like I feel like this is such a great cast. Like I'm sad to lose really anybody for the most part. So
isn't that refreshing?
Yes, it is. It is. So that's we are definitely it's very difficult for me to find a way for Swaggy to stay this week right now. But again, so much could change based on what happens following the back door. And Kaitlyn mentioned multiple times she cannot blindside her alliance. She plans on telling them like 10 minutes before. And we know who Kaitlyn is. There is a very, very small chance that they talk her out of this in the 10 minutes leading up to the veto.
Yeah, she wants to spill her guts 10 minutes before. And if she gets a whole bunch of negative vibes from all those people, if her chakras are offline or whatever it is that she believes in, she very well could go back on that and just leave it the same. If she leaves it the same, Winston going home?
I mean, well, here's the thing. Like, if they talk to her 10 minutes before, they might have time to convince her, but they would not have time to convince, or for her to then confer with Tyler. So Tyler would still probably use the veto.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And so I don't know I don't know what I could like, this is like total fantasy at this point, but like, if they did manage to convince her, I could see her during the ceremony be like, Tyler, no, don't do it. Don't use it. And Tyler would be like, "What? Why?" And then if she is saying the plan is off, then I could see Tyler just being like, "Screw it, I'm going to use it on Winston." Like, who knows? Who knows what happens?
Well, that's who he really wants. That's who he would prefer to use it on. He just has to use it on Scotty to keep up the looks. So that would be really crazy if there was like these last minute calls going on. Taryn, yeah. I don't know that we're that lucky.
Or I mean, honestly, he probably just wouldn't use it at all.
Yeah.
And then they'd vote Scotty out. That's probably what would happen because they do have the votes to do that. So you know, even these crazy situations, and again, like then even if something goes wrong, Sam is there to use this bonus life.
Right.
So Tyler does go to Scotty and he's like, "Hey, would you like me to use the circle with the line? Like, you want this to happen?" And Scotty's like, "Yeah." And Tyler asks him, "Do you have the power?" And it's like, it's one of those things where like Tyler has the power, but like you keep finding reasons to be like, but does he? And I'm pretty sure that this is just Tyler making sure that he has ammunition to use that isn't I have the power in order to convince people that Scotty doesn't have the power. So like whenever he's saying I don't think Scotty has the power, people are like, do you have the power? And he's like, no. They're like, then how do you know? So I'm pretty sure this is just ammunition that he can use to be like, Scotty has the power. I asked him in order for me to use the veto if he had it. He said no. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have it. But it's still just a tiny bit of doubt. Maybe he doesn't, but I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and it's this whole convoluted thing. He has to come up with some reason to bring Scotty off. So that's what it is.
Yes. So Tyler is also going to want to start to form something official between Brett himself and Kaitlyn, which I love this idea. I think that Tyler continues to move forward with a backup plan upon backup plan. People are starting to catch on to him from like 3 weeks ago, but he is so far ahead in terms of having now 2 powers probably and all kinds of like individual backup alliances and relationships. And Brett seems to have gone along with this. He did not say anything to Winston when Winston was paranoid, ranting at him. And they even had a conversation where they were like, "Is this a fight final 3, guys. And it's going to make Kaitlyn feel more comfortable. It's going to make Brett feel like he has more of an in, and it's going to just yet again give Tyler more of a like buffer and a place to run to if he gets outed somewhere else.
Not only are those great personalities to have at the final 3, but I think that that would just be awesome.
It'd be a pretty good final 3.
It'd be a pretty good final 3. You've got Brett the bro. You've got Kaitlyn, kind of like the train wreck barreling through this game, and you've got Tyler, the really strategic person who's hiding his identity. That'd be a solid final 3. I'm all about that, man.
This is like the final 3 of Big Brother 16 if Caleb had been there instead of Cody. This is Derek, Victoria, and Caleb.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
Also we had Bayleigh talking with Haleigh and Rockstar, more just about Tyler and Kaitlyn and how they have to go. Interesting to note now at this point that like Haleigh has even turned against Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn, who's talking about her best buds, and how they're going to be mad at her once she does the blind side, doesn't realize they are already mad at her and don't want anything to do with her. This is just gonna sort of everything's gonna fall into place here.
Yeah, they kind of smell it coming. They see who she's hanging out with. They see who she's spending quality time with versus just the passing, hey, let's have a quick little short conversation. Especially Rockstar is very, perceptive on these kind of things. And I think they don't necessarily smell the back door coming, but they see that she's kind of changed who she's talking to in general. And they can read the tea leaves.
Yes. So there you go. I honestly feel like Rockstar and Haleigh are probably in a better position here. They have a little more information, and of course Bayleigh is going to be hurt by this Swaggy backdoor. I feel like this is also going to be a make it or break it moment for Bayleigh's game, because when Swaggy gets backdoored, she's going to be in a position where she can either react like I need vengeance, or she can take this as an opportunity to be like, okay, all right, where do I move from here? Because
I'm a free agent now.
Yes, exactly. Because she does have a relationship with JC at the very least. She needs to branch out a little bit because she's been very focused on Swaggy for most of this game. And if anything, like when I'm talking about like I think Swaggy had more potential, I think part of why Swaggy had more potential is because he's spent too much energy and focus on Bayleigh, and I think he knew that going in, and that's why he freaked out when he made out with her. It's again like these showmances, they get together and they talk with each other more than they talk with anybody else, and they end up missing things. So it'll be very interesting to see where Bayleigh goes from here once Swaggy is backdoored and probably leaves. I think she has options, but I'm not sure if she will know how to utilize those options.
Yeah, future Big Brother players realize that the fact that once one portion of a showmance is evicted, you sense that get that sense of freedom. That should tell you, I should have been free all along. Don't get in a showmance, man. Just don't do it.
Yes.
Especially Swaggy. You were a fan of the show, and you freaked out when that happened. You know what this is. Don't do it.
Yeah, and again, especially considering the powers, and these people should know that their side does not have these powers just based on the fact that they don't know what they are. Nobody is a cop to having them on their side, so they should know the other side has them, and they should know that when this move happens, the angriest person, the person that is most outspokenly like, "How dare you? You betrayed us. We're coming after you." They are going to get screwed. Even if you win HOH, Sam can undo it. Tyler can probably co-HOH it. You're going to get screwed. You're going to be the person that takes the fall while the other people are able to kind of slide into the background and be like, okay, we need to reconfigure this entire house because this is a losing battle right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even know how long these solid lines are going to last. I think that we don't have much longer. I think this veto ceremony is going to blow up a lot of things, and I think we're going to have a whole new game, come Tuesday.
Yes, very, very interesting. Can't wait until this veto ceremony happens. Because honestly, before then, I feel like we're just biding time. Like nothing's really gonna happen until this backdoor happens. Because everything that the former Faute people talk about is irrelevant right now. Because it's all just gonna get blown up, and everything's gonna change. But that's what we've got for you today. Unless there's anything else you wanted to bring up, Dustin.
No, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of Sam. She's from my neck of the woods here in Central Virginia, and I'm rooting for her. That's all I have to say.
Sam, by the way, we've been pretty quiet about her because she's been pretty quiet, being just exactly what I think I thought, and probably we thought of Sam heading into the game, like when she wasn't a robot. Like this is exactly where we figured she would be. She's just very like open and genuine and trying to be honest with people, and people are starting to like her. She's starting to make bonds. She is not stuck to one side. She is talking to everybody. Sam is somebody that I would definitely be having my eye on if I were in that house, because I think she's gonna sneak by for quite a while.
Once the weight of that robot was lifted off of her, all I see from her are these great personal conversations where she's really connecting. And so I'm super excited. Book her for the long-term game. I really like her.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Of course, I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that happens on the feeds today. And then tonight, we will be live after the episode. We will finally learn for sure who has the power and what power it is that Tyler has, which honestly, like, I just want to know what, because like we're just like, I'm pretty sure Tyler has the power. We don't know what it is, so I don't know how much power he has in this house. Everyone's talking about like, oh, Tyler, he's so screwed. I don't know. We'll have to see. So we'll find that out tonight. We'll be live after the episode. And then tomorrow we'll also get some Eric Stein. And then the next day we will have our LFC Roundtable podcast where we'll do some more stock watching and everything else. So make sure you also check out my Twitch channel, Taran Armstrong. We're going to be playing some games today. Some lying games. We're going to be tricking each other, yelling at each other. It's going to be great. Make sure you tune in. And we also watch the feeds together sometimes. So it's a lot of fun there on Twitch. And I think that's it. I think that's all we've got for you. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm at Armstrong Taran. Dustin is, what is your Twitter handle?
My Twitter is at Dustin T. West. Welcome to the wasteland of Twitter.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I will see you next time.